There are some things in the budget that concern me quite a bit, and I wanted to mention some of those. One of them is the failure to reestablish the Commission on Women, that there are some budget cuts from the Human Rights Commission for personnel. I'm concerned about the performance-based funding for our public universities, which the governor's budget had removed, and now this budget puts it back. And one of the problems with that, actually University of Louisville will probably do very well with that, as well as University of Kentucky and Western Kentucky University. But what it does is it pits our public universities against one another in ways that really are most marginalized, our folks most in danger of not completing their four-year degree. It puts them at the highest risk. So I'm concerned about that performance-based funding being put back in. The waterfront investment, of course, we're very sorry to lose that, as the lady from Jefferson 44 mentioned. You know, whether you love Louisville or hate Louisville or go there all the time or live there or come there occasionally, Louisville really is an economic engine for the entire state of Kentucky. And I think we were felt so heartened to have that piece in the governor's budget. I'm very, very sad to see it go. Let's see, the reduction in social workers who have these unworkable caseloads. And this budget doesn't fully fund the teacher health insurance for the second year. That's something that I've heard a lot about from constituents, that they really want to see that fully funded, excuse me. So, you know, the statistics about Kentucky can be so disheartening, and we love this state. We choose to live here. We have deep roots here. And we hear the statistics that we're #1 in child abuse. We hear statistics that we are #1 in food insecurity for older adults. We hear the reports of environmental degradation across the state, that we have counties where there's not even clean drinking water for folks. We know about childcare deserts and food deserts and the other challenges that we're facing as a state. And what we hear consistently is there's only so much to go around. I've had so many folks in my office, and I know all of you have as well, who are saying, please fund literacy initiatives, please fund gifted education, please fund support for individuals with intellectual and developmental disability. And these are folks who need funding. They need the support of our state. Folks coming in fighting for crumbs to support education, to support mental health, to support healthcare, fighting for crumbs for clean water. And I put out a survey before the legislative session began to District 35, and I received back many, many, many responses from people who bothered to fill out a paper form, put a stamp on it, and mail it back to Frankfort. And the #1 priority from District 35 constituents was, please raise more revenue. Raise more revenue. We have an obligation to fund education, to fund healthcare. That's why we're here. And we're talking about possibly passing on our obligation, because we don't have the courage to raise the funds that are needed, to pass that on to someone else. It's our job. Two of us, the lady from Menifee, I believe, and I may have the county wrong, have bills that would file this session that would allow for appropriate taxation on instant racing slot machines, that those are proliferating so quickly, and yet we are taxing it at such a low level. That's low-hanging fruit. That is low-hanging fruit. And the meager taxation we are doing on those slot machines, we're arguing over sports betting, but there's slot machines happening now and proliferating at a rapid rate. And that funding that is coming in, the meager funding, is mainly going back to the very industry that hosts it. We have opportunities to raise funds, to raise revenue, to support the social workers, the teachers, the educators, the folks who make, the state workers who have not had a raise in how many years. We have an opportunity to do the right thing with the budget. And while this budget, thank you so much, again, that it does not have the cuts, there's so much to be encouraged about here, but we must fulfill our responsibility and raise the revenue to support the things that our constituents rely on us to do. Thank you very much.